Good evening, this is your mod author, Leadpipe Justice, and today we're getting into Skyrim stability with this video. So I just want a quick overview on how to get our game as stable as possible, and then if we're still crashing after that, we can really say it's something with our load order. So here's a few things that other videos don't get into that we can do. So I'm going to leave the links in the description, but we need 4 different types of files to make sure that this thing's working. So the first one is the SKSE.ini pre-download for lazy users, and all it does is it just gives us this little special code that gives a memory allocation to the rest of the game, and it's just going to work a lot better. Let's just put it that way. It's going to make it work, okay? And we're going to use no warpaint tweak for the file. I recommend that way we're not using the other mods that have warpaint that up the resolution for it. We'll change it in a different setting, so we're going to do no warpaint tweak. Our next one is we're going over to crash fixes, so I'll have that also linked in the description. Go to crash fixes, get the latest one, and all that stuff just installs right into SKSE, which is in Skyrim data. The INI also is going in SKSE for Skyrim data. And then we're looking at our memory blocks log, so that's the next one. So this one is just going to make sure that we know that everything's working. So we're going to download that, and that also goes into SKSE. And then our last one is an SKSE preloader, which also linked in the description. That is going into our Skyrim root directory, so not in the data file, but in just the Skyrim folder. That's it. And if you happen to have what's called a D3DX942 wrapper, D3DX942, make a new folder and back it up. That way no problems happen and you always have it backed up. And I do the same thing here in my folder. Alright, so after we're all set with that and we have everything set up, when we load up Skyrim, everything is going to load up where with that last patch I talked about, it was the SKSE plugin preloader, tongue twister, but D3DX9. That thing is allowing for our SKSE to load up first before the rest of the game. And for us to do that, we got to go over to our crash fixes INI file, and then we will just double click that, and we're gonna find UseOSAllocators, which was equaling 0. We're gonna set it to 1, so that means it's turned on. 0 means it's turned off. And then we save that, save the file, Control S to save, or file save. And that's done, we'll close out. So that way we know that SKSE is gonna be loading everything up before the game loads. That's supposed to help us not crash. Alright. So final thing is we're going to take a look at our enb local file. So we get those with enbs, and I'm going to be posting my personal enb that I use in my local file for you guys. It makes my game look good. I like the optimization, so it's just running well. It's not too heavy on any system really, and yet it still looks good. So I'll leave that there. And in that download, you're going to see our enb local file. All that stuff's just going to go right into the Skyrim root folder, not the data folder. And if we double click on our INI file, we're going to see a whole slew of stuff, whether it's marked true or false. And take a look at that. Make sure that that's all there. Otherwise, if you're using your own enb, try checking out how my settings are. Now, everybody's settings have to be generally for their system, but the number one thing is that we look at the memory section of it, and we have, for all the stuff that we just downloaded that and installed, that expand system memory x64, that is set to false. That's just our Windows 64-bit system, because we're using Windows 10 or 11. We don't need it though, because everything we just did is to expand memory for a 32-bit system, because we're on LE. Then the other thing is reduce system memory usage. We have that as true. Disable driver memory manager is false. And then we get disable preload to VRAM. That's false, because we want to preload our stuff onto our VRAM. That helps a lot. Enable unsafe hacks, no. False. And reserve memory size for 64. That's like our buffer of 64 MB. And then the video memory size MB is at like 40. That number right there. I have it as that. And there's a whole thing on which one we want to use. And in order for that to take effect, we do auto detect video memory size and keep that false. We'll enable our compression for true. That seems to help for all our like physics, like hair mods, the boobs, the butts, all that, making the physics nice and good. So I keep the compression on. So that's number one. And then we'll take a look at our load order. So when I load up my either Rybash or MO, that mod organizer, I'm taking a look at my load order, and I want to make sure that pretty much these things are in order. So for me, if I have like HDT packs where it's like physics, and that's like the hair movement and the cloth physics, stuff like that, we're going to keep that at the bottom of the load order, because that's going to just work better. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of the physics frozen in game. Then we take a look at the top of our load order, and I have stuff like follower, dialogue, follower stuff at the top. But then I have enhanced lights and FX at the top. I have RaceMenu, all our bread and butter stuff, bread and butter mods for characters and things that we want to load first are more up at the top. So that's why I have at the top it's loading first. So that's how it works with Skyrim. The top is loading first, the bottom's loading a little last, and the bottom is also taking precedence, meaning it has to it'll win against the other mod that's before it. So stuff like I have like a tree mod, right? My tree mod is towards the bottom of my load order because I want the trees to be taking over everything. But then I have another mod called Cities of the North, and it changes like cities, and it changes all that with new architecture and stuff. So I'm gonna move that below the tree mod so that takes effect first. That way I'm not seeing any visual errors. Stuff in the middle, I'm keeping like my monster mods still to the bottom, but it's in the middle, bottom middle. And then bottom top is more just like Skyrim Unbound or other changes, like maybe weapon mods, armor mods, stuff like that. My animations for TK dodge, ultimate combat, stuff like that. Combat mods, violence is a popular one. That's the one that gets rid of the kill moves, stuff like that. So you'll see all that stuff in my load order. I'm gonna swing down my load order really slowly. Alright, so that is a wrap of everything without making this video get too long. The last thing before I forget, oh my god, is we have to look at our console when we first load up in the game. And we're gonna write set stage in console. To bring up console is with the tilde key, which is a squiggly up in the left corner of our keyboard. We're gonna bring that up and we're gonna write set stage, and then after that we're gonna write DLC1VQ Saint, and then space after that 200. And if we hit enter, we're going to automatically finish a quest that had to do with Dawn Guard, and apparently that fixes so many crashes. I just dug around online, and that's something that we'll do as soon as we either start a character, or you could try it with your existing character as well. Alright, that's my last 2 cents, and we'll close this video up here. Take care, guys.